Hi everyone, welcome to YOLO with ToLo. Okay, so let me add my co-host Lonnell on here. And for those of you guys joining that have never watched us before, Lonnell Williams and me, I'm Toan Lonnell, good friends, and we decided, and several people were like, let me be a part of y'all conversation. Lonnell, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Woo, woo. Two old dudes trying to get on social media. What's up?
Finally get the technology right. I'm well. What's going on?
I'm here in my apartment in San Francisco. You know, I did a little bit of traveling, and you travel every week. Where are you at this week?
I am in beautiful Montgomery, Alabama. More on that later.
Alabama? What are you doing there in Alabama?
So, well, quickly, I am attending the grand opening of the it's the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, and it's actually a memorial for more than 4,400 people who were lynched, and that's an ugly part of American history, but a lot of people don't know about it.
Yes.
But they've got a new memorial coming here that I'm attending tomorrow, and there's a whole big opening ceremony and a new video Commons here, John Legend's here, Ava DuVernay, so it's going to be kind of hot.
Wasn't that, oh, by the way, let's see, I want to make sure I added my guests here. Were you
yes,
able to add your
guests? And then make sure that you guys also like the YOLO with ToLo page, please, so that you can get notifications when we go live on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I'm excited that there's a lot of people that added us from last week, and also several people have either posted questions for us on our live stream and last week's video and have messengered us questions. So we'll get to some of the questions later.
Definitely so. Yeah, there were some good questions, and I'm looking forward to answering some of those and actually getting some feedback from some of the viewers that sent the stuff in. So I appreciate that. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Dre.
So anyway,
go ahead.
I want to hear more about your Alabama stuff, but for the folks that are just joining us for the first time here, this is our, 8th episode when we decided to record our conversations. And it sort of evolved into this live social media show. And let's be real, we were a hot mess when we first started.
And we still are.
Still are, clearly, because I had to restart this twice. They wouldn't let me add Lonnell earlier. And we're like, maybe, Kevin, our production assistant here, was like, so what is YOLO with ToLo? We're just trying to get organized. And then Dee, our producer, came into our life. She's a real life producer. And she was like, y'all a hot mess in a good way. You guys have great energy. You guys talk about such great stuff. But we got to organize your hot messness into, that's even a word, hot messness. Into segments. So we've got it all segmented out for you this week. And so ToLo, we were just like, what do we call, what is ToLo? So it's an amalgam of Toan and Lonnell, and an acronym that Kevin and I came up with we were like, T could stand for transforming, O, R, lies for L, and then organically through conversation. And it just so happened that people started sending us questions based on the books and the movies and just life lessons we talked about. But now we have our segment. So your segment one, let's talk about the segments right quick, shall we?
Yeah, so the first one, we'll just do a quick talking topic. Now, is this backwards or is that for? Can you even read that? Can you read that correctly?
Kevin, is that right? Okay, so Kevin was telling us last week that this is backwards. And so Kevin, do you want to kind of try to flip it for me here?
Or somebody else, anybody watching.
Okay, we're good. He flipped it.
Forward or backwards. Anyway, it says talking topic.
Oh, hey, anyway. Angelo. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Antonio.
Angelo says, I'm late, but I'm here.
So,
better late than never. Okay. So, wait, hold up. Topic 2 is where we share Wednesday wisdom. We're calling this dump, the Wednesday hump, getting through your Wednesday challenges. And then you have segment 3.
Hey, Nicole. And segment 3 for me is...
Good to see you again.
Talk with ToLo. So that's where we'll answer your questions, and we will get into the feedback, because there's some great questions that came from you guys last week.
And our writing is organic, isn't it? It's kind of janky or organic, kind of.
It's kind of cool,
the digital
detox, but it is
we're going to try to throw this in if we got time. So we'll see.
All right.
But we got a lot to cover. I'm on Facebook right now, and it looks like what's still trending is the shooting that happened on Sunday at the Waffle House. Want to talk a little bit about that, and then I can tell you the awesomeness that actually came out of that?
Unless you've been under a rock over the past few days, there was a 29-year-old gentleman who went into a Waffle House with a coat on or a jacket on and nothing else. So his little pee-pees hanging out or whatever. I'm like with a assault rifle, or I'm sorry, that's the incorrect term. I don't need the gun lobby after me. With a AR rifle, and he ended up killing 4 people. But there was a gentleman who was in the Waffle House who was like, he said, listen, it's either do or die. And he actually disarmed the guy and wrestled with him and actually was able to get the gun away from the guy. And he's been held as a hero, which he should be. He's not buying into that title because he's just a very humble guy. But I think that it's great. Initially, there was a lot of discussion and a lot of information on him, as opposed to, so often they focus on the negative. But it was great to just see that this young man was being honored. He received a notification from Waffle House. They were like, we really owe you, and the local police authorities. They've really been celebrating his heroism, even though he doesn't necessarily feel that he was like, I'm not out here trying to live. I wasn't out here trying to be Superman. But so I get that.
But can we flip? Yeah, can we flip the script real quick though? And ever since I was a fledgling reporter, because y'all know I used to be a TV reporter. Some of you guys may not know that, but I left TV news because I was sick and tired of death and destruction, and I was always looking for the people that were helping out, after these tragedies, and what is the silver lining if there's any. And I'm always trying to look for that. And the awesome thing is, it looks like one of the reporters had set up this GoFundMe account for him. But you were telling me he set up a GoFundMe account for the 4 families, right? To set up the funerals?
Right. That was initially, he set up a GoFundMe account for the funeral costs, et cetera, for the families of the victims. And then that reporter went in and set up another account for him. For his name, I can't think of his name right now. But
so I have James Shaw. So I have it up here right now, the GoFundMe page, and it's GoFundMe.com, help the Waffle House hero. We'll post it up under the comments later after this talk. But let me just read you really quickly what was written here. It says, James Shaw Jr. put his life on the line when he took on the gunman who killed 4 people at a Nashville area Waffle House. Since that horrific shooting, he's raised tens of thousands of dollars for the victims and shown a level of humility that has inspired many of us. So I normally don't get involved directly in these matters, but James's grace has inspired me to start this page to give him the support that I feel that he deserves. According to news reports, James has a 4-year-old daughter. Perhaps this money can be used for her college fund or some other education-related expense, but I'd just be happy if James used some of this money to take his family on a nice vacation.
Oh, so, I hope he does do that. He at least deserves that. I know. So that
right, and so they've raised at this moment $158,000. Over $158,000.
Both pages, I think, have raised over $100,000, right? Both, I believe, both GoFundMe pages have raised it. That's just a great story, and I hope that we end up seeing much, much more. That people are inspired by that type of action and supporting.
It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from. I was a PBS baby. I learned English watching PBS as a kid. And Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Anyway, would you be mine, Mr. Rogers? I'm not gonna sing. I might hurt your ears. But he said that when he was a kid, when he would watch bad news on TV or read about it, he would get really scared. And his mom said that when I would see scary things on the news, my mom would always say to me, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping."
Oh, so thank you, James Shaw, for being a great helper.
I know. We salute you.
That right there will make me dump the hump, but we've got a whole different segment on that. But that took me out of the dumps.
Right, me too. So we'll talk about dropping our Wednesday wisdom. We call this Dump the Hump, getting over your Wednesday hump. And you know what? The awesome thing about this segment is that everybody, no matter how perfect their life looks in those perfect little squares on Instagram, because y'all know it's all kind of fake anyway. People are posting their pretend best lives. A lot of them, not everybody, because I post like for real stuff, and I know people that do too. But some experiences that we like to just share, experiences that we, that have helped us kind of get through our challenges. And for me, this week, so many people have talked about getting stuck, and these are people who, like, I have a friend that worked for Google, did really well there. She's felt stuck. I know people in the real estate business killing it, still feel stuck. you know, like everybody has their own challenges that they're facing. Somebody sent us a message. Kim here sent us a message on Messenger, and she goes, "Hey, Toan Lonnell, I'm reading off Facebook here. Love your weekly chats, and I'm at a crossroads in my life. I'm currently not working and want to be smart about my next move. I could go back to what I know and make a decent living, like having money to travel, etc. But I'm finding it hard to know what my true passion is job-wise. I know what I like and what I don't like, and what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, but just curious, what is your advice to someone who is kind of stuck in limbo?"
Wow. You got to keep pursuing
That's
it.
a good one.
But it's a great question, but she's got to keep pursuing it, because you know that this preordained path that you were supposed to take, career building, accumulating wealth, like you always say, Dr. Lawyer, and
my parents are trying
right.
to doctor, lawyer, engineer, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm gonna kill people on accident if I was a doctor.
But if those career fields don't bring you fulfillment, then you really have to pursue something that you're passionate about, and you really just have to find the things that you enjoy doing, and get out of the mindset of how am I going to make money out of this. Just start doing it. Even if you know, even if, while you still have a job, I'm not telling you to walk off your job, but keep your job. But even if you can dedicate 10 minutes a day to what you really love doing, that will at least fuel you, and you'll begin to build. That 10 minutes will turn into 20 minutes, will turn into 30 minutes, and you just got to get clear about what you want, and articulate that vision, and then just believe in it and hold to it and keep doing the work. You'll get there. You'll get there. It's just not an overnight thing, but you will get there.
But let's get real though. You know, some people, you know, we don't have kids, right? And some people have work full time, they're tired, they have 2 kids or more. What would you say to those folks?
If you don't, okay,
like,
so you can't do 10 minutes a day to it. You can give yourself 5 minutes, even if it is just to think about what you like doing. If you don't have 5 minutes a day for yourself, then you're worthless to your kids, you're worthless to the people you work with, and you're worthless to yourself. If you can't take 5 minutes at some point during the day to center yourself and just breathe and think about, or even dream about what you want, then you're not living. You're just waiting to die. And that's not, that's
that's a good one.
You're
not living, you're waiting to die. You're so right there, because we've talked a lot about meditation throughout our chats, and you and I meditate almost every day. Well, it used to be almost every day. Now it's pretty much every day. I wake up, and even if I have, you have to give yourself at least come on 2 minutes. Like everybody's got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. But 2 minutes to 20 minutes, right? But you got to give yourself that time. It's like oxygen mask dropping here. But I could share, Kim, I can share the story from my perspective. Is I was a TV reporter, and it had been my dream to get to the big market. And the way the TV news works is there's over 220 markets or cities. The closer you are to market number 1, the more money you make, because more advertising dollars, etc. So I made it all the way from Wausau, Wisconsin, Midland, Texas, Fresno, and here to San Francisco, market number 5. Like top of the heap. People be like, why do you want to quit? And I just like literally had a stomach ache every day, because I felt like, for me, I was misusing my power with the folks that, you know, that were leading that newsroom for me. And so that's God talking right there. God's like, you're right.
Okay.
So I remember that something that had happened. It was a school bus. It's called the school bus accident. And several of these little incidences happened, but this one put me over the edge. So I remember just before the 5 o'clock news, I was in studio about to go live, and we heard the police scanners. Oh my God, there's a school bus accident. And everybody, like management people, were getting all excited because they were like, we could lead with it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, outer body experience. Like I just zoomed out and I was just like paying attention to what was going on, the chaos. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. People are getting excited. And then, damn it, boom, somebody slammed the phone down, and they were like, one of the assignment managers, and she was like, oh, nobody was injured. Like all disappointed. And that's when I knew it was time for me to go, because I was misusing my power. So anyway, I went off and started my nonprofit, Go Inspire Go, where I would talk about these heroes we're talking about and share their story to inspire the hero in you to help. And since then, I didn't really focus on the how this is all going to happen because that's up to God, but I just focused on the why. And I think through meditation, we were talking about meditation earlier, through meditation, when you're quiet, things and answers and things just kind of come to you. And once you admit it to yourself that, oh, this really makes me happy. This excites me out of bed. I would do this even if I didn't get paid for it. And you go and do whatever that is. Like you said, even if it's 5 minutes a day, like if you love to read, if you can go and tutor a kid, like for half an hour a month, or if you don't even have that time, like do little bits and bobs of it. You can keep your regular job, pay your bills and eat and all that. But all of a
plant
sudden,
the seed. You got to plant the seed in your mind that
yeah,
you deserve it and that it's possible.
yeah. And intention is huge, because I really believe that whole, I don't know if it's a Buddhist mantra, but be careful what you think, because your thoughts become your words, and be careful what you say, because what you say is real. There's ramifications and feelings that come with that manifest into reality, and they just become real. And if in your heart, if you say that you could do this, you could break away from this corporate job, if that's your thing, not your thing, and start, a little bake shop and bake cupcakes, and that's your thing, start there. But you could start little. Every day you could do a little bit of something, and that all adds up towards the end, right?
It does. And just quickly to that point, if you don't believe that, it starts with thoughts and words and beliefs, that those things don't hold power, just take a look at your life right now and take a look at your speech. Step out of your body, and I guarantee you that your life right now reflects the way that you think and speak.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to talk to some of the viewers and hear about. We've got some great questions. Can we move on?
Okay, so what you got here?
ToLo?
Talk with ToLo. Okay, let's look at some of the other questions we got here.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole, we see you there, girl. All right, so talk with ToLo. Let's see. One thing I do want to talk about is, it's so funny because you brought it up several weeks ago, and it's been in my, like when something is in your mind and you think about someone or something, that topic or that thing keeps popping up. I guess pregnant. I've never been pregnant. Don't want to be pregnant, but but pregnant women always tell me, I see so many other pregnant women, because that's what you focus on, and that's what we keep talking about here. It's like obeying the whispers, right? And so many people, you and I have talked about this recently, the last few weeks, about vision boarding. And so many people since then have brought up vision boarding, including today at lunch.
No coincidence.
I'm going to have a vision board party. No, I know. What you say? What do you like to say? You and Oprah? Yeah, no coincidence. Divine order. Yeah? So, one of my questions, well, we'll get to this question in a little bit, but the real life question that happened today at lunch was, one of my friends was like, how do you even start vision boarding? And that's really a question that I wanted to ask you, because you have a vision board. When did you start it? Tell me about how you could start it.
I actually learned about vision boarding back in 2000. Well, I had heard about it before, but I actually did my first one actually in church back in 2005.
Church?
Really?
Okay. Okay.
And all you need to get started is a thought and a dream. There's even an app for it now. You don't have I was going to say you could go to the craft store and pull some magazines. You can do it that way. That's the way I do too. But there are even apps for it now. And really, you just have to get yourself out of the rat race of your life every day, and then start being definite about what it is that you'd like to experience in life. And then start to pull those images from magazines or from the internet or wherever. And you then place them somewhere where you can see them on a board, on a poster board. And there are different ways to work. And you can say affirmations about them, but the point is to set a seed in your consciousness. So you need to constantly be looking at those things and reaffirming that that's the space that that you aspire to live in and that you aspire to experience. And one day at a time, you'll get there. Mine have come true. Every vision board that I've done over time has pretty much come true. I remember Jennifer asked us, how often do we change your vision board? And I don't have a definite.
That's a good one.
It's a great question, but I don't have a definite answer for it, because when the first thing manifests, I don't just change the board. I don't replace it. So I kind of leave things up there. You just know when it's time to move on and to advance or to add on to the vision. You'll know.
I like here, Sadie, who's watching here from Indiana, says, hashtag spirit slap. I like that. Spirit slap.
Yeah, spirit
and then
slap.
Nicole says, wow, y'all are speaking to me. Thank you. Hi, Lorette. Lorette.
I love Lorette.
Watching.
That's my girl from Lake Charles,
hey.
Louisiana.
So let me ask you this then. What did you put on the board that you're willing to share that came true, that manifested?
Okay. And it didn't manifest the way that I thought it was going to manifest. I love this question.
Okay.
Okay, so my very first vision board, one of the things that I put on there was a picture. I know it always all roads lead to Oprah, but a picture of Oprah Winfrey. And my intention.
Oprah Winfrey's like, Dr. Oz. Not Dr. Oz, like the Wizard of Oz. It just keeps popping up through everybody knows about it.
But the picture that I used was her handing out books at her first book club back whenever. And the intention behind that was that I wanted to work, because I had a thing about meeting celebrities that you really like, because I've met a few that I really like, and I was very disappointed. So I didn't want to risk that with Oprah. So my intention with that was saying that I want to work with somebody with that type of leadership, someone who would demand the best of me, but who would also encourage me to be my full authentic self and to be my whole full spirit. I wanted that in an employer. That was my intention with placing that photo of her, because she represented that to me. I knew her team worked their butts off, but I also knew she would rise. She would help them to rise and be their best selves. And that's what I love. And that's why I used it. Now, fast forward 10 years, now that I have this whole personal connection with her, it's totally different from that. And now I'm glad that I don't work for her, because I like the connection that we have better than I would if I were her employee. So
interesting.
That was one of the first things. And it did come true. Now, it didn't come true overnight, and it didn't come true necessarily in the way that I thought it was, but the way that it did manifest was much bigger than I could have ever dreamed. Hello.
Okay, so I would be remiss, I know. So I would be remiss to not ask you to tell everybody how you met Oprah. Hey, Juan Carlos, and Dee, our producer, says, Lonnell, will you show your vision board during a future live conversation?
I will.
Or post a
next time I'm home in Atlanta, I'll show you my current one.
Okay.
And a couple of things on there have already manifest, but I'll be happy to share that too. Yeah. Absolutely.
I wanted to also thank one of our viewers, Nathan Cook. He actually saw the kind of like the pre-post that we said, hey, y'all watch at 7 tonight Pacific time, and he actually posted his. So if you guys want to share your vision boards, we love to see it. And I would love some ideas, any sort of tips you guys have, because next week I'm going to actually have a vision board party. So I want to revisit this, and maybe you could show it to us next week.
Yeah, you know? Hopefully I'll be home and then we can do. Yeah, I would love to do that. Of course.
Take a photo of it and send it to us.
Okay, so business. Come on.
Tell people how you met Miss Winfrey, because that's on my vision board for show. That's for show. I'm going to meet you.
Twitter.
Okay, hear me? Okay.
The Twitter. I know we're on Facebook Live.
I'm going to be real. I thought Twitter, when it first came out, I was like, this is stupid. What? So prove me wrong. You proved me wrong. Tell me about how you met Oprah on Twitter.
Yeah, initially when she first launched her network, I just started tweeting about, the press was really hard on her about, she should keep her day job. Oprah's not standing on her own, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, no, girl, there are people out there
I saw those.
Who believe in
trolls. Trolls
in the media. Fake news.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, right.
And then eventually she started seeing them, and then she actually invited me to a show, and that we connected at the show. We spoke backstage, and she treated me to dinner at her favorite restaurant in Chicago. And after that, it was a wrap, baby. And so she just continued to inspire me, and I continue, to be inspired and to be a teacher and a carrier of the light. And that's just what life, this life is all about.
And that is your motto. We talked earlier about how Anosha from the UK said now her motto is what you said last week in last week's talk. She says that really changed my life when Lonnell said, you choose fear or you choose faith. Right. So yours is stepping into the light.
Stand in your light. That's mine.
Stand in your light. Ooh, that's a good motto. I know mine is, it was funny because it was extrapolated from a Forbes article they had written about my life. And coming from a place where it's just like, I never thought I mattered as a kid. We were poor and yada, yada. But this is what my motto is, that we all have a superhero power in this gift that we got to discover and activate and share it with the world.
Yeah.
And that is joy. Because, you buy a new car, it gets old. You buy a new pair of shoes, it gets old. But there's this joy that is ubiquitous and also evergreen when you are sharing your light your power.
Your power. I love Angelo. He says mine is, are you scared or prepared? That deserves like some finger snaps. Are you scared or prepared? I love that. Okay.
I like that, Angelo.
Stolen. Okay.
I know. Hashtag spirit slap was one of them, and now are you scared or prepared? Ooh, that's good. But you know, you make a choice, and
hey, Rondé.
The bottom line here is, if your life isn't going the way it wants, like you said, change your thoughts now. Like, you right this second can rewire your brain and say, you know, instead of saying, I hate my fat body, blah, 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 or whatever, say, you know, I love this body, this heart that beats for me, this mind that works for me, that houses my soul and takes me to this next dimension and to the next day. Thank you, God. And I will honor you with good food and exercise.
Yes, good food.
Really? Right?
And exercise.
I love me some good food. No, I'm gonna see you in Atlanta next month because I'm doing a speaking engagement, and we're gonna go try out. Maybe you want to go work out with me? Maybe we can go to like a CrossFit class or something.
Yeah, like, maybe you can teach me how to do a handstand on top of Stone Mountain next.
Yes, I know, right? People are always like, oh, you do it with. You know, the thing about handstands is it teaches me to face my fear. Some people are like, oh, you're showing off at the box, the gym I go to. And I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fat F what like people think about me. I love just working past what the challenges that scare me. And I think this is, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna pat myself on the back, and I want you to pat yourself at D's like 1 minute. So
she said that a minute
ago. Pat ourselves on the back.
Okay. that minute.
1 minute, boo. Yeah, D's our producer, HBIC. Look it up on Urban Dictionary. We said if you don't know what that is. But she goes next. She's like, move on. Don't talk about me. Okay, we'll move on. So do we have time for digital detox, or you need us to wrap? Tell us the time here.
Wrap it on up. CrossFit with Toan is definitely.
Toan is definitely scared, not prepared.
Scared, not prepared.
So Kevin, our production assistant, I asked him to go with me to a CrossFit class. Poor guy's never been CrossFit, right? And this was in New York when we were there for a conference. And he did it for like, I'm ashamed. No, I don't want you. He did it for 10 minutes, and he was like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. So I feel bad. He's totally like PTSD from that right now.
I love this.
So Bahre, ooh.
Did you see that?
Bahre says, Pinterest is a great vision board tool.
It is a great vision board.
I want to see yours. That is a good idea. I never thought of that digital vision board, but I kind of like cutting stuff up.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just a personal preference. I mean, it's a personal preference. You got to do what works for you. Okay. Yeah, she said we have time to do digital detox. Hit it.
Yeah. Okay, so we got our last segment. This is like an extra digital. Okay, digital detox, where even though we're on social media, this is a social media live show, and you and I are always active on Instagram and Twitter, especially you. Like, I'll message you somewhere, and then you'll be like, but we also love to pull the plug and detox. So anything that you're doing, I mean, aside from when you're flying up in the air, traveling, and you don't have access to it because you're either working, what are your tips? Sadie says hands-on is the best. I agree. Yeah.
I'm more hands-on too.
I'm not going to do the digital one for now. But okay, so what have you been doing for any sort of digital detox or to get you off the phone or your gadget?
It is so hard for me to put that doggone device down.
Oh, yes.
I have tried to, and lately I've tried to take like when I do walks or when I'm working out at least, I will put on I'm forcing myself to, I'm still not detaching totally from the device. But at least I'm putting it on Do Not Disturb, so I'm not receiving notifications.
Oh, that's good.
So it's just me in the zone with my music and whatever my task is at hand. Still not totally rid of the device, but I am rid of the intrusions. So yes. I'm still, I'm like that crackhead that's just, I still need a hit.
I know.
I still need a hit.
This is me. I'm like, yeah, that's me. So you know what I did today is, so I actually saw this on Gail King's Instagram, but she uses this meditation app. I can post it in the show notes here too. Ooh, D says disconnect to reconnect.
Disconnect to reconnect. Amen, sister.
Dude, there's a lot of good ones.
That's why she's the HBIC.
I know. Woo! But so there's this meditation app that I use. It goes ding, and then you could like load it to remind you to stop meditating in 5 or 10 minutes. Because the worst thing is when you're meditating, you're like, wait, how much time passed? And you're totally out of not breathing or your mantra. So I use that, thanks to Gail King, because I saw it on her Instagram. And one thing though is my phone will ding all the time in the morning. People will be like, "Want to go on a walk?" Blah blah blah. And so what I do is now to digital detox. When I do that, I put it on airplane mode because it still works on Wi-Fi.
Right.
So that way I'm not getting any calls. You know. Kevin says, I have an old Samsung Galaxy S4 with really bad battery
forces
life.
him to detox. Hey, Sam. My friend Sam,
Hey, Sam.
is going to St. Louis. He was asking me about all these wonderful places to go visit in St. Louis, Missouri. How do you digital detox, Sam? How do y'all detox?
I know. I would love to hear. I mean,
I
whether
need
it's
some help.
live.
Because I am addicted.
Sure.
I'm device down. So
Yes. Well, another thing that somebody told me the other day, because last week's segment when we talked about digital detox, remember I said I learned from Matt how to one of my buddies how to turn your phone on grayscale so it turns black and white.
That
so
didn't work for me. I tried that. That didn't.
Well, you got to try something else, and that didn't work. That worked for me. I'm not gonna lie. It worked for me for a day, and then I turn it on and off, and I'm just like, ugh, you know, oh, that's annoying. But one thing that I've learned is to when I'm home, to put my phone in the other room.
Right.
Dee says, our producer says, when meeting folks for a meal, have you ever tried having everyone put their mobile
phone in the middle of the table? Yeah. And the first one that reaches for it has to pay for the meal.
No, see, that's the thing is, I've never done that just because I'd be like, I know I'm gonna have to pay, so never mind. That doesn't work for me. So Sadie says, leave phone in other room when it charges and turn it off at night. That's what you told me you did last week, though, right?
Yeah, I did turn the phone off, and yeah, I was still having anxiety reaching for the damn thing, and it wasn't even.
That's when you know you cracked out, boy.
I know. I'm addicted. They've got me hook, line, and sinker. I leave my phone in the desk while I teach. I can't hear it, or just leave it at home.
Leave it at home. Hi, Mel. Hi, Carmel.
Oh,
yeah. Hi, Carmel.
Yeah. I'm just not that disciplined. I just want to get back to that place where I could just leave it somewhere. When I leave my phone,
turn off your notifications.
So when I leave either phone,
I know you got to. Wait, Bahade says turn off your notifications. Do you turn yours off? Because you're always on.
Well, I use a do not disturb now to turn them off because I have too many coming in. But
I don't have any notifications on. That's a really good tip, Bahade, because what I did early on was I was like, I don't want everything dinging because we went hiking this weekend and somebody was like, dang, you got 20 different notifications, like 20 different messages or whatever. And I'm like, I know I just wasn't checking my phone. I like literally put it away. So I didn't have have it on, but I did snap photos. Another thing I want to talk about next week in terms of digital detox is whenever I go travel, I love taking photos. So I had in Iceland, Bahare was with me in Iceland, and with Yasi and Luis. This group of us went to Iceland a few years ago, and like between one of my best friends Yasi and I, we took like 6,000 photos. But it's just so easy to snap. And for me, my partner's always like, well, you shouldn't be on it, just enjoy the moment. You're always saying enjoy the moment. But to me, it is enjoying the moment. It's like, and I'm not listen, y'all, I never upload where I'm at because I don't want people to know where I'm at. That just freaks me out. One of my friends was like, have you tried Friend Finder where you could like see where they're at? Because I was like, oh, I wonder where Lonnell's at today, remember? And so my friend was like, there's a Friend Finder, and that freaks me out. Like, I know Snapchat and all that allows you to see where your friends are at. Nuh-uh, that freaks me out. Oh, Sam. Hey, Sam. He says, date nights, phones are off for us. Every other time, we're glued. LOL, so sad. That's so true. When I was at
his partner, they're so awesome. But yes, that is good. I'm like, I'm still not. Maybe I need to start having some date nights. That would mean I'd have to go on dates, though.
I know, right? That's a whole nother.
That's another show.
No, I know. But one really sad thing that I saw recently was this couple. They were out on a date, young couple, and they were on their phones constantly from when they were ordering all the way through dessert. And I was like, why don't y'all just order in? Like, why are you even out on a date?
Why are you
like
out on a date? Right.
Yeah. And I was just like, See, I'd be like, see you later. Peace out. Go date and kiss your phone.
Absolutely. Well, this has been awesome.
Dude,
it's like the time goes by so quickly.
I know. Thanks, Dee, for keeping us on check because Dee was like, y'all have good things to say, lots of wisdom, but hot topics, but hot mess.
Awesome. Well, then,
so anyway, please, if y'all are watching and you like what you see, please share, like this page so that it shows up next week. We're going to try to go on every week around 7 o'clock Pacific time, but Lonnell's schedule with all this flying
who knows
job.
where I'll be.
We'll let you know ahead of time though. So if you like us, like our page and share, we'll keep in touch with you. But thanks guys for watching. This dialogue was so affirming. I needed this, Angelo. Aw, thank you, Angelo.
Thank you, Angelo, and thank you everybody else for tuning in and your notes and your feedback. And we feed off of you the way that you feed off of us. So please continue to support and always stand in your light.
Ooh, I like that. And share your comments with us on the comment section or in Messenger. Thanks, guys. Be
Bye.
good.
I'll see you soon.
Later, Lonnell. See you next week.
Alrighty.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Sam.
Bye, Sam. Later.